So I just heard that the US has cut off funding, HIV/AIDS funding in Nigeria. Um, I'm not quite sure whether this is under the Pepfar or Millennium MCA account, but anyway, um, the government from that country did say it wanted to pull aid from other countries in order to supplant its own economy, which is understandable. What I do think is a lot of people are concerned, NGOs and civil society, whether that country, Nigeria, or any others that will have funding pulled from them, from the US, or whether those countries will be able to fill in the space, that gap, and offer free medication to their own people. And I'm aware that civil society perhaps thinks that it would never happen. But I do know that there are a lot of people from African countries who feel that the West should have left Africa a long time ago to its own devices, that Africans will be fine. My understanding is that the amount of money in African countries is very little, especially for healthcare, and that in removing the funding that makes healthcare free, it does not mean that the healthcare won't be necessary. It means that it will be purchased by the Nigerian government from the American government, the American economy, which manufactures this, and the European and Japanese economies, which manufacture ARVs, and the Indian economy. It puts a lot of weight, I'm sure $1 billion weight, on a very struggling country, Nigeria, which does not have full housing for all its citizens, a security net for every person, and even, ironically, a healthcare service for every person. So I think it remains to be seen for all of us what the Nigerian government wishes. It is quite possible that those individuals who are at the top leadership were and have always been aware now and in the past that the removal of Western aid would perhaps not either destroy fully or not necessarily destroy the Nigerian budget or government, but that is the Nigerian economy, but it would put a hefty weight on it and make it very difficult to allocate other monies for other activities. Perhaps by some miracle, it would be that the Nigerian economy would begin to process and manufacture their own ARVs, or one that is much more likely is that an actual ARV manufacturing company from a foreign world might be allowed to open and start business in Nigeria. One of the laws that I know exists in Nigeria is that there are certain industries that foreigners are not allowed to be involved in, and perhaps there might be a loosening of those ties in terms of business and trade and economy. But we'll see how it functions. Perhaps we can say that this is the first entente, and so it begins the removal of one of the largest powers in the West, or the West itself, from Africa in terms monetarily, knowing that prehence the French government and Wagner had been removed from the region, the Niger Delta, and countries that have recently fallen to military coups. But all in all, those countries consistently fall to military coups as a matter of fact or being. We shall see how the economy will deal with that in the next few days, weeks, and months. as funding dries up, in whichever way that the current American president wishes so, and what the response will be on the part of those countries, not just African countries, but perhaps of concern to me, how they will rise up to catch themselves, essentially, now in this new era that many have wished for, many Africans have wished for, whether verily or foolishly. We shall see.